Top news of the day in 1 minute.
The United States is demanding that Europe halt all purchases of Russian oil and gas and impose secondary tariffs against India and China, Axios reports. U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent stated that Washington is considering all possible options for sanctions against Russia. According to him, after Putin and Trump's meeting in Alaska, Moscow intensified strikes on Ukrainian territory. North Korea has developed a new solid fuel engine for the next-generation Hwasong-20 intercontinental missile, Korean media report. Putin and Xi Jinping have begun talks in Beijing. Trump spent 30% of his presidency playing golf. Out of 225 days in office, he was at his golf courses for 66 days. Russia, China, and Mongolia signed a memorandum on the construction of 2 gas pipelines, Power of Siberia 2 and Soyuz Vostok, a transit pipeline through Mongolia.
Kim Jong-un may hold bilateral meetings with Putin and Xi Jinping during his visit to China, Yonhap reports. Putin statements, Russia has never had, does not have, and will not have any intention to attack anyone. Europe's claims that Russia allegedly plans to attack it are either a provocation or complete incompetence. Russia tolerated Ukrainian strikes on its energy facilities for a long time, but is now responding seriously. Russia is ready to cooperate with the U.S. and Ukraine at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Under Trump, the U.S. began to hear Russia, and the summit in Alaska proved that. Russia has never opposed Ukraine's membership in the European Union. Russia's only goal in Ukraine is to protect its own interests. Moscow was forced to protect people who link their fate with Russia. This is the reason for the war in Ukraine. Putin advised Eastern European countries to cut off oil and gas supplies to Ukraine in order to stop Ukrainian attacks on energy infrastructure. Fico's statements at the meeting with Putin, I do not acknowledge the criticism from EU members because everything in my head is arranged in order. I emphasize this, Ukraine cannot become a NATO member, but we will support Ukraine's accession to the EU. The EU is like a frog sitting at the bottom of a well, unable to see what is above, while the world is completely different. We react strongly to attacks on the oil pipeline. I will be criticized. I will receive calls asking, what did President Putin tell you? After contacts with Putin and Zelensky, Erdogan stated that they are not ready for a meeting, Milliet reports.
China respects Tehran's right to the peaceful use of nuclear energy and supports Iran in defending its national sovereignty, Xi Jinping said. Russia and the United States are planning another round of consultations through their foreign ministries, Ushakov stated. Putin held a meeting with Serbian President Vučić in China. The Russian leader said that the strategic partnership between Moscow and Belgrade brings positive results for both sides. Putin stressed that Russia respects Serbia's independent political course under Vučić's leadership. Vučić expressed gratitude for Russia for supporting Serbia's territorial integrity and for its friendly attitude toward the Serbian people. Vučić noted that since the beginning of the conflict in Ukraine, Serbia has been under great pressure but has maintained its principled position of refusing to impose anti-Russian sanctions. Ushakov said that Russia and the US are currently engaged in dialogue primarily about Ukraine, and it is too early to talk about the development of bilateral relations. The Times, in a conversation with Putin, Trump said that Russia may have to keep fighting and suffering because both sides are suffering before they can be separated. Putin took this as a green light to continue attacks on Ukraine. FICO. After discussing the Ukrainian conflict with Putin, several conclusions were made, which I intend to present to Zelensky on Friday.
Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.